Australia's New South Wales has passed a sweeping new gun and anti-terror rules following one of the country's deadliest mass shootings. 15 people died after two gunmen targeted a Jewish celebration at Bondi Beach. The bill was approved by the state's upper house of parliament, 18 votes to 8. Roger Maynard with this report for CNA.
It's indicative of the public and political mood in the aftermath to the Bondi shootings that the New South Wales government has decided to implement these new counter-terrorism measures as soon as possible. In fact, some of these new laws, which have only just been passed by the state parliament, will come into force immediately. That means tougher legislation on gun ownership and a crackdown on public demonstrations in the wake of a terrorist incident. New South Wales Premier Chris Minns made no apology for his swift response, insisting that urgent measures were needed in view of the scale of the Bondi Beach attack. Sydney and New South Wales, he said, had changed forever, and he made it clear he was not done yet.
We know it's our responsibility to do everything we can to keep the people of New South Wales safe, and that means further change in the new year.
What does it all mean in practice? Well, apart from a limit of 4 guns per person, owners will need to have their licence reviewed every 2 years. They'll also have to be members of a gun club. The new measures are more generous to farmers, who will be able to own 10 firearms, but that still hasn't gone down well with many members of the rural community who believe they are being unfairly treated and have labelled the measures as a smokescreen for failures in tackling anti-Semitism. It's clear that both state and federal governments have got a big job on their hands to sell these new laws to the rural sector. In fact, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has announced he will tour the country to mount a campaign for national gun reform in the weeks ahead. He told a news conference that he wanted to stamp out the inappropriate use of firearms while accepting that farming communities also have a legitimate reason for them. While gun ownership is a major issue here, there's also concern about the measures to crack down on protest marches. New South Wales has outlawed the public display of flags and symbols used by militant organisations such as Islamic State, with offenders being jailed for up to 2 years. More controversially, public demonstrations will be banned for up to 3 months after any terrorist incident. The Jewish community claims not enough has been done to protect them from anti-Semitism, while pro-Palestinian groups have been allowed to hold regular marches in Sydney and other Australian cities. Some argue that the clampdown on what people can say in public is a threat to free speech, with activist groups considering a constitutional challenge to the new law. A former Court of Appeals judge here said he feared it could create more division in society. Others also warn that these are draconian measures which should not be rushed through Parliament. These are nervous times for a country largely unfamiliar with terrorism on its home soil, and how to address the threat it might pose in the year ahead. Roger Maynard, CNA, Sydney.